A very good afternoon to you, our cherished listeners. It's always exciting indeed to come your way every Wednesday with your favorite business development program on Radio Masterclass. It's 11th day of March 2020. We're still officially in the third month of the year, and as we continue to celebrate Ghana Month here at Joy FM, we also continue to celebrate 25 years of media excellence right here on your superstation Joy 99.7. It's about 9 months more and Christmas will be here. So we always say here on the show that if there's something that you want to do, something you want to start, something you've thought of doing but you haven't started yet, just start it. Just start it. It definitely does feel good to bring you today's edition of Masterclass here on your superstation. Masterclass comes your way every Wednesday at 1:15 p.m. here and runs all the way through to 2 p.m. here on your superstation. Masterclass is powered by Joy Business and brought to us by Goyle. Goyle, they say good energy. Goyle, Yenara, Yedia. My name, as always, is Yabanafo, and I will be your host for the show today. So in the month of March, and I think a better part of February, we've been spending time in the studio talking about a very important aspect of our behavior as people, and more importantly, so how that plays in the space of business and entrepreneurship, and that's a topic of emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence. If you've been spending time listening to the show, you'll also know that we've been spending time in the studio with Mr. James Kwesi Addison, who has spent some time here with us, about 6 weeks almost, sharing some thoughts with us. He's also the CEO of the first Emotional Intelligence, International Emotional Intelligence Center here in Ghana. We'll be spending some time today talking about his work in Ghana, what he's been doing so far, and how he continues to impact businesses throughout the nation. Last week, we spent some time talking about a different aspect of emotional intelligence. Essentially, we're looking at being assertive vis-a-vis being aggressive. And I remember the statement that he made from last week was that assertiveness is the new aggressiveness. And of course, it just brought to light a bit more about how we can be assertive in our business, in our dealings, in our conversations without necessarily being aggressive. Oftentimes you hear people say, unless I'm upset, I can't talk about it. When somebody offends me, unless I'm really, really upset, I can deal with it. So you find that when people talk about issues with their colleagues at work, or boss to subordinate, subordinate to boss, colleague to colleague, sometimes they can't even look at them in the eye because people do not like confrontation, We're also privileged again to be joined in the studio, and I always say that we'll be spending some time here with some in-guest studio, some of our ardent listeners, and today we're blessed to be joined. Last week we were blessed to be joined in the studio by Sabina. She spent some thoughts with us. She was an entrepreneur, training young entrepreneurs. Today we're blessed, and I hope I pronounce this name right, because if I don't get it right, I'm definitely okay. Okay, so we're joined by Efia Kobihema Usisi Adan Bekwin, who is the head of corporate communications of Ghana Post. I hope I got that right.
You got it right.
Ifya, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you.
But one thing about Ifya also is that apart from being the head of corporate communications at Ghana Post, she's also an entrepreneur. And she has a lot of experience, 10 years I think it is, in doing her own thing and helping other people set up their own business. So today we're going to be having a conversation of both worlds. What Mr. Addison is going to tell us in terms of the theory, the classroom, and what happens in the environment in Ghana Post, in a formal sector like Ghana Post, and also in your experience as a beneficiary of all the theories, also in the people that you have trained. Today we're going to be spending some time talking in a specific area, and again, like we did last week, I'll try and open the phone lines a bit earlier today, because I always like to get interactive. I want our listeners to be a part of the conversation, ask questions, send comments, and then we can all become better for it. We always say that life is too short to make all the mistakes yourself. So learn from somebody else. Don't reinvent the wheel. So we're opening the phone lines a bit early. But today we focus our conversation under EI on marketing and selling. Marketing and selling vis-a-vis emotional intelligence. How can we as entrepreneurs, as business owners, as managers, as team leaders, as supervisors, push our products into the market and make gains? We've already talked about the fact that emotional intelligence, or the absence of it, can either make you money or cost you money. We've talked about that. But today we're going to be focusing on, if you have a product that you're selling, whether it's a service, whether it's a tangible product, how can that be affected by emotional intelligence? The next few minutes, Ms. Addison, if you can just take us away, we'll come back to Ifya at some point and get some thoughts also, and then we'll go straight to the phone lines. Time check in the studio, 27 minutes past the hour of 1. If you just tuned in, this is Masterclass. Keep your dial locked here as Mr. Addison shares some thoughts with us on emotional intelligence vis-a-vis marketing and selling of your products within the space of business. So, Mr. Addison, please talk to us.
Thank you very much. I'm always happy to be around, and I'm also happy that my landlady keeps listening to me. So my shout out to Madam Gilbertson. She's tuning with his colleagues from Rich Church. And I'm happy about that. If you do something and your landlord appreciates it, means your rent is probably going to
and shout out to all landlords.
Now, today I want us to look at what I've termed the social emotional marketing.
Right.
One of the key factors to every successful entrepreneur is your ability to sell. No matter what you do, no matter how fine you package and all the qualities that you looked at when it comes to your product, if you are not able to place it at the market for people to purchase, then it means you've done nothing. It's close to nothing. So today I want us to look at that, and I want us to appreciate the fact that emotions are involved in all that we do, and that includes selling and marketing. Now, this is a situation whereby an entrepreneur will need to invoke the right emotions for you to be able to sell your product and services. So here I want us to look at three things here. The first and foremost, the entrepreneur's selling proposition should have these three things in mind: credibility, meaningful, and recognition. And when you're able to connect to your customers at these three levels, you are likely that your product is going to resonate with them. Very, very important. This then also brings to mind that we need to now understand the psychology and the behavior of our customers. Very, very important. And this is where emotions play a critical role in taking decisions. To be frank, most of the decisions that we take to purchase, in order to purchase goods or services, are most of the time often driven by feelings rather than emotions. And very soon we're going to see a couple of them. Very, very important. So let's look at some basic approaches that other successful entrepreneurs have applied when it comes to emotions in order to put their products across. One of the first things I want us to look at is what I call the inspirational approach. What inspires your customers? Do you really know what moved your customers to purchase? Now, for instance, when we talk about Nike, they've mastered this approach very well, and they've gotten people like Michael Jordan, right, Serena Williams, and these people are attached to Nike, not only because of their stature and the way they look, but also their persistency, their accomplishment, and the talent they have. So any product that seeks to inspire people, right, should have that connotation of linking itself to people that people aspire to be. It's very, very important. Now, when you talk of people like Michael Essien, Stephen Appiah, for instance, when any product that is that resonates with these characters will bring into mind the ability to inspire people. Because a lot of people would like to do what these people have done, knowing where they came from, what they have achieved with their life, and what they are still doing. Now, there is also one aspect that I call the aspirational approach. Now, what inspired your customers is very, very important. That product and services could be identified with such approach, an approach that really get people inspired. You look into people's dream. What are their lofty goals? Now, when you are able to zoom in into this and tap and connect into them, it's likely they fall in love with you. Goyle has something to do with Azuma Nelson. Azuma Nelson depicts a character of calmness, humility, beginning from a humble beginning and to that level. So far, I've not heard any bad thing about Azuma Nelson. So this is a brand that when a product is associated with, it gets people aspire to achieve greater things. And it's very, very important that we pay attention to some of these things. Now, the next thing I want us to have a look at is how does your product demonstrate love? We are talking about emotions here. Any product and services that tends to portray and truly must portray it rightly to the people that somebody become better off by consuming such a product, it's likely that you get the product sale. Because when emotions are involved, people will do anything possible to make sure that you survive. A clear example of which I'm not doing advert for them, probably they may have to start sponsoring this program, is Awake. Right? I love taking Awake simply because I know that a percentage of their sales goes to cardio. Right? This is a product that is exhibiting an emotion, love. So they are invoking love from other people. And that is very, very important. Another thing that I want us to look at is what I call the belonging. The belonging. You remember the first time I came here, you asked me about my old school, right? And I've gotten a lot of mileage from people getting to know that this is one of them speaking.
Yeah.
By nature, we are made in such a way that we want to belong.
Yeah.
You getting my point. So I've gotten a lot of calls, a lot of goodwills from both Aketechi and St. Augustine. So naturally, would you imagine a product that can identify itself alone to people of Aketechi descent for them to feel belonging? You have a bigger market. So I've even started thinking of shaping some of my products to make sure that my people will feel love and patronage. Very, very important.
Maybe you should do a special one just for them.
Yes, yes.
Maybe on the next speech and prize giving day.
Yes, I'm doing one for Infantiman girls.
Okay.
This next week Friday.
Right.
Yeah, building emotional resilience in the youth. So it's coming up, small. So very soon, and we are coming out with a product to make sure that it becomes part and parcel of education, especially starting from some of these affiliated schools. Yeah. So people will feel belonging. And the psychology of football has proven this. Ole dade, phobia, Ashanti Kotoko, Kuma Pembaba. People want that localization.
So the class will fight with you. You mentioned my club.
Yeah, which one is that?
Hazakis.
Ebusua Dwas, Abontu, Swedru All Blacks. This kind of locality, kind of emotions. We are invoking emotions here. So when people find that this is ours, are you getting my point? For instance, Goyle again, and I'm very happy Goyle is sponsoring such a program. To be frank, I'm prepared to get some trainings into Goyle if they speak to you or my producer.
I'm sure they are listening. My producer is also listening.
Yes, we can surely do something for what they've done.
Yeah.
Sponsoring such a program, making sure that people become of their own and their talent doesn't go to waste. And they have something that I like too much. And I'm a Goyle fan already. I don't know why, but I always said that I've not gone into their financial books, but it is one of the companies that have done a branding that me sitting outside know that they've made money out of that branding. Very superb.
But it belongs to all of us, right? It's Ghana oil, isn't
it? You see, Goyle, Yara Yendia.
Yeah.
They are invoking our emotions of belonging. Ghana, Yara Yendia. So this type of emotions can really get you sell a whole lot of products without people will just buy it. Most of the time, the logic will not even be looked at. Now look at football. Even the local fans for the foreign teams, you can't go close to that. When they are playing, and people just want to identify themselves with very, very important. Now, let's also look at a simple, and here I want to be very cautious. I'm talking about fear, invoking fear. And I have the word I use that you invoke fear in ethical manner, right? To get people purchase your product. For instance, when you listen to the critical illness advert of Geico, right? This is what we call a sort of triggering fear in an ethical manner. Now, words like "we are here with you," "we protect you like a mother," all these things are words that really draw people's attention and move them emotionally into action. Now, the same life assurance companies, right? Insurance companies could also invoke what we call the relief, right? That will cushion you for life. They are getting you relief in such a way. And when you listen and watch most of the accident insurance adverts, You will be hearing boom, as if an accident, and a word will come out. You get my point. So they are simply manipulating emotions, but in an ethical manner. We don't want to go into too much negativity by invoking emotions that will cause fear and panic. No, but in an ethical manner, letting people know the danger that is ahead if they don't get to buy your product. We can also talk of simple, like what I call the fear of missing out. It's a way to get people instant gratification, that you invoke their fear of missing out. Sign up with us within 24 hours and get 50%. If you are not satisfied with our product, we give you a guarantee of your money, 100%. That is what we call on a solid rock guarantee. Now there are other words and adverts like, when you find a price that beats us, we'll match it or even cut down our price. Yeah. These are all things that will get people to really move into your product.
I remember there's a very big retail outlet here in this country. I think it was almost about 10 years ago, was it?
Okay.
When they started with something similar, and they said, if you find a price that beats our price,
good,
we will return your money to you. And
Good.
it worked. I mean, people were all over the place trying to find it. But I'm interested to find. I'm glad it's now come back. I know you have a dossier information, but unfortunately I don't have too much time today. I want to come to Ifya. Ifya, what is your general experience? Just very briefly. Let's dwell on what you do in the formal sector.
Okay.
Just anything at all. I know EI is a big discussion, but what stands out for you that you want people to take note of? Because we're speaking to Ghana here.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that are prevalent in our expression as human beings and attitudes and all of that? Because we learned here on the show that behavior is the way you show your emotion. So it comes out as, it's like the symptom, if you like, or the channel. Now, what one thing sits with you as Ghanaians? When I say Ghanaians, all of us. So we are not talking about you. We're talking about all of us. But what one thing is it that we do that does not show good emotional intelligence, if you like, and how can we change it as a people?
Okay, so once we are talking about entrepreneurship or business, I'll first of all talk about people's reaction towards our initiatives. So maybe a company, you decide to do a total rebranding. You've sat down, you've done all the strategies, you are happy, and you believe that you have changed. Maybe you were in level 1, and within the strategies you've put in place, you feel you are now in level 3. Suddenly, maybe you go on social media and you are receiving all the buses from your clients. They are not happy with what they are seeing. It may be just a color, of which if you don't take care, you will not take into consideration what your customer or your client is saying. And that is where you need to exercise emotional intelligence. You need to find out the reason why your customer is saying so. And even if you do not agree with the customer, there are so many ways to handle it. But sometimes if you are an entrepreneur or you are a CEO, imagine you coming out with a product or a new initiative that you worked on for several years or taking several days to come out with it. Just for someone just a day to say something to rubbish it on social media. If you don't take care, you go out there. Another thing is now is about choices. So you also believe that this is your product or this is the service, and automatically Ghanaians need to accept it. Because for instance, when you look at because Goyo is your sponsor, when you look at all these stations there, people offering services in full, and you have all the names and you hear Goyo, India, and even the prices are low. If you are working at Goyo and you don't take time, you may not understand why the Ghanaians say that the month of March is made in Ghana, and we are wearing Ghana, we are eating Ghana, but the same person will drive past your filling station, yes, and go to the next one. So I think emotional intelligence is something very essential.
Let me see if you I want your thoughts on this one. Ms. Addison is the guru here, but I want your thoughts on this. This is from Ken. I've not started doing social media, but I just wanted to chip this in. This is from Ken at Legon. Ken, good afternoon if you're listening. He says, "Hi, Masterclass. Quick one. I got a recommendation to render a service The prospective client called and sounded desperate, and he asked if I could deliver. My response was yes, and his budget will determine as well. He said I sounded unconcerned and not showing empathy. He dropped the call. Was I wrong and emotionally unintelligent? That is, you answer this question for me when we start, but I want to hear your thoughts on it if you are very briefly.
You see, because
was Kenan intelligent in it?
A bit, because the first is, can you provide the service or not? Is yes. So you stop there. Then you say, okay, so how do I get it? Or then you come in with the price. So immediately you combine both. You are talking about the price there, and the person believes you are insensitive. Maybe we don't know the kind of service, but maybe it's a very essential service. So once you say yes, and it depends on your budget, the person feels like you are insensitive.
It's like I'm talking to you about something, you're asking me about money.
Yes.
But you see, on the other side, Ken also feels like I must chip the money thing in first, so that it's present on your mind. You know, because there are a lot of cowboys in town. You know, they come to you, they want the service, and then at the end of the service, it's a tall order to get your money back.
That's what I believe, that emotional intelligence is something that, if even those of us who have passed it, our bosses who arrange for courses for us in emotional intelligence will be the best. And for those coming up, maybe it should be fused into the curriculum, because you see, it's difficult, because sometimes maybe he had the experience of always spending time with the client, and when it gets to quotations, they will say, oh, I can't afford, my budget is too low, you know, and he has wasted time on the client. So this time maybe he has changed his plans and he wants to add the cost. But some people will feel like you are insensitive.
I won't put you on the spot, but very generally, as head of corporate communications of Ghana Post, I want to ask you a specific question. Do you think that your role has tested you to the point where you've become a bit more emotionally intelligent than you were when you started?
Of course, yes. Of course, yes. There have been several instances where...
Okay, so now I didn't ask you. Okay, so go ahead. Share the ones that you think you can very quickly, 30 seconds.
You see, let's even talk about the Ghana Post GPS.
Yeah.
It's an app that I believe that the majority of the people who are having a smartphone and they have confiscated or sophisticated software, and they are using it, should be able to do it. But you come in, and even maybe if you don't take care, the presenter interview you will just say, so is it accessible? So you just, if you don't take it, just, can't you try it?
No, but you see, we ask those questions because we have to assume that the ordinary Ghanaian who doesn't have a phone, who hears about it, so we have to pretend to be everyone, so that you can answer the question to them directly.
Yes, and
I'm holding brief for my fellow presenters.
Of course, but I just cited that.
But
you go to a place. I remember the last time when I went to a place, someone was even trying to show me how I can go extra mile in terms of Twitter. And this person came back, and when I was just leaving, he just said, so Ghana Post GPS, that doesn't work. So I just said, can we download it? Or do you have it? So he said, I've never downloaded it. And if you don't take care, when you look at the person and now if I even want to bake cake, and I don't know how to do it, I can quickly go to YouTube. I can go on the internet. So maybe as head of corporate communication, if you don't take care, you meet someone who you believe can access the internet and they still asking you some questions, you may not be patient. But with emotional intelligence, you just always have to assume that yes, you're starting from level 0.
You mentioned a keyword, patience. Ms. Addison, I'll come to you when we open the phone line. So please write that down somewhere for me. Do you think, let me ask my question now, so that when I come, I may not remember it when I come. Do you think that being emotionally intelligent is synonymous to being patient?
Good. Yes.
I'll come back to it. Time check the city, 47 minutes past the hour of 1. We'll be opening the phone line shortly. And then, by all means, when we open the phone lines, we want you to be a part of that conversation. We're in Ghana Month right here at Joy FM, like I said earlier. And we want to, by all means, share a song with you. This one is from Akwabua, and it says Number 1. Let's take a quick listen. When we come back, we continue with the show.
masterclass is in session, and you can interact with us via Facebook at Joy Business or at Joy 99.7 FM. And if you tweet, the handle is at Joy 997 FM. Don't forget to hashtag masterclass. You can also send us a text on 1422 across all networks, or join the WhatsApp conversation on 0244 340437, and our facilitators will address your concerns. Attention everyone, class is in progress.
Right, if you just tuned in, this is Masterclass on your Superstation. So do you own any motor vehicle of any kind? Because if you do, I've got some good news for you. Gulf's new Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes are the best engine oils for your vehicle. They are specially engineered engine oils which efficiently work on all your modern petrol and diesel engines. They clean, they protect, they reduce fuel consumption, they prolong oil change intervals, as well as enhance your engine performance, right from when you start up to when you switch off. So go to any Gulf filling station today and grab the new Gulf Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 engine oils for superior vehicle performance. Goil, they say good energy. Goil, Yara, Yedia. So the phone lines are now open. Numbers to call 0302 216 541. That's 0302 216 541. Otherwise, you can also send us a comment. If you're driving, please do not drive and text. We want you to arrive alive. So by all means, park your vehicle safely and then send us a comment on 0244 340 437. Emotional intelligence. How does it help you to sell your product? How does it help you to be able to push up your numbers and your sales? This is the discussion we're having today with Mr. James Addison in the studio, and also our Inga studio, Ifia. Okay, I'll mention the rest. I'll mention the rest at the end of the show. But by all means, we're having a wonderful time here in the studio. Do give us a call, 0302 216 541. Mr. Addison, I asked you a question. Does emotional intelligence increase patience?
Good.
But I think there's a question for Ifia. Okay. This one says, yeah, great show. This from, it's from Kweku Adebiri. Kweku, thank you for listening. It says, yeah, great show. Please ask Ifia if she's the same as Princess, who was into health insurance. Hey, Kweku. Hey, Kweku, good afternoon. Please, are you the same?
No, I'm not the same. Princess is my big sister.
Okay. We are safe. Ms. Addison, please ask your question.
Yeah, let me deal with the gentleman that was up as from Lagos.
Yeah, that was Ken.
Good. Yes. Yeah, Ken. I'll empathize with Ken. I understand him, where he's coming from.
It's macho.
Yes.
The business is
yes. So coming in and running away from price. But then I would like Ken to have put the whole thing into context. You look at how the person sounds. Are you getting my point? The person may be very desperate and maybe life-threatening, or a kind of losing a source of supply of income or something like that. So at that moment, sometimes you put it into context, and then you may be able to really understand the person, belittle the monetary aspect for now. You getting my point?
Let me play the devil's advocate.
Yes.
In Ghana today, and it may not be the right thing.
Yes.
But it is common knowledge in business today. That it is when the customer is most desperate that you squeeze them. It's almost like saying when the person, you meet your colleague in the gutter, don't help them, take a stick and knock their head in the gutter. So when you are most desperate, it's when they want to talk to you about price.
Good.
Because they know that is when you will pay any and everything to get it. And I know I'm speaking the minds of many entrepreneurs today. They are clapping. You can't hear them.
No, I know. Including myself.
Yes. So that's what Ken was thinking.
Yes. So that's why I said I understand him. I appreciate his situation. But we don't know the context. Are you getting my point? Maybe the person, as an ordinary person, think that this person should have appreciated this kind of feelings and the challenges I'm getting through. That does not mean that the price is of no importance. Right? So I'll offer him one place on my training that is coming up. It's solely for young entrepreneurs. The details will be out next week. So Ken should be on standby for a free ticket on that. So I want to meet him. I think he's been a very good student all this while. Okay. Now with the patients.
Before you talk about patients, I've got a caller on the line. Let's see if I can pick that call and then we continue with the show. Good afternoon. You're welcome to Masterclass.
Good afternoon.
Yes. Your name, where you're calling from?
I'm Philip, calling from Labon.
Right, Philip, talk to me. Philip, can you speak up a bit for me? Your line is a bit faint.
I wanted to find out.
Yes.
Sometimes you are to service.
Right.
You render service to people, and then let's say occupy.
And
then people call you. They want to ask the price of everything without buying even one. And sometimes you get to you start to lose that kind of patience.
Patience with them.
You send this one, the person says, oh, what of this one? Then you send. What of this one? Then you send. At the end of the day, the person tells you, I'll get back to you. You can say that kind of feeling, that kind of I wasted all my time on you, and now I'm beginning to lose my patience. Perhaps you might be busy working. The person was like, I was waiting for you to send me the pictures so that I can choose from it and all that. And then they end up asking all the questions they can ask in the world, and they tell you, okay, I'll get back to you.
So what do you do? That's your question, right?
Yes. So
okay.
In this case, what do you do?
Okay, please keep listening. That's Philip. People ask you a million questions about the product and they say, we'll get back to you.
Yes.
I mean, so at some point he gets very upset about it. And then, yes.
You see
Okay, I think I have another caller on the line. Good afternoon. You're welcome to Masterclass.
Hello, good afternoon, Mr. Yabenako.
Hey, my brother, how are you? Long time.
I'm very well, thank you very much.
Good. Talk to me.
Yes. I do associate myself with Ken. Sometimes a customer will come to buy something from you, and you realize that the money is not up to, but you just sacrifice to give that person. After you have given him or her, he turn out and say you have cheated her, just because the money is not up to. Or sometimes the person will go later on, the person will bring the same amount of money, not knowing that the price is lesser than what is higher than the amount that they are bringing, but they will continue bringing it. So sometimes we Africans, it will take time before we understand this kind of thing.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, my brother. I mean, his thoughts are that sometimes you mean it for good, but then they turn it around for evil. You give them a big discount on a day. They come back and they say that was the original price. You were intending to fleece them. But let's do the patience quickly. I've got just about 5 minutes on the show. Patience quickly. I want Ifya to answer a certain question for me, and then
patience is very, very critical. It's a very good emotional intelligence skills, because when you lack patience, all other competencies, you may have problem with them. You need patience to even listen. You need patience to even assert. You need patience to empathize with people. It's very, very critical that we exercise patience and impulse manage very, very well.
Okay. There's something that you spoke about when people have a good feeling about something, affinity to brand. So, sometimes when you mention phobia, until the bones are rotten, people get excited. And, I particularly like that, Jama. I think that is the best. But let me ask this question. There are some hormones that are known as happy hormones.
Good.
Okay, and I wish we had a bit of time. Maybe next week we'll come back. So examples of those hormones, we have oxytocin.
Yes. We
have dopamine.
Good.
There are a number of them.
Good.
These days they are available as tablets in the US and all that. When you walk into a shop, cool music, UB40, you're happy, you're just snapping your finger. And the place smells good.
Good.
And it's hot outside, but there's cool, air conditioning inside. You spend more than you really want to spend. You come out and you wonder, what did I buy all these things for? Does ambience, smell, temperature, do all of that play on a person's psyche? And does that affect sales? Very briefly. 30 seconds, Mr. Addison.
Okay. Yeah. Now, it's very, very important because they've managed to invoke the right emotions in you by injecting you with the happy emotions. These are very, very important. And people will even be prepared to pay double the price as compared to other areas in the marketing when they go to the shopping mall. So these things are very, very important. The ambience, sometimes, for instance, you may go out as a man to buy something like a watch, right? Now, you may be looking for a color that doesn't really match with men's color, right? It's up to whoever is there to even help you to get the correct color, right? And sometimes too, the ambience, the color is portray a whole lot. Colors have meanings, and research have shown that when children are given a lot of colors around them, any child that comes to your studio will be very brilliant when he stays here for a long time. Because the brains keep on working. They don't see only one thing. So research is saying that one color in classroom is not helping children.
Right.
So people can read about emotions and studies. Very, very
so much information even on color and on lighting and on space and all that. I wish I had read more time. I've got a comment, and this one is to my producer, Sarah. If you are listening, this one is from Kweku Ademi. He says, Yao, seriously, I think your show needs 2 hours. It is so helpful. This one is not to me, it's my producer. My producer is listening. If you take out for today, what should we remember from the conversation today? I know you're probably coming back next week, but what should we remember from today? If we remember nothing at all, we spoke about marketing and selling and pushing a product. What should we remember from today? 10 seconds.
to be able to convince our customer, to win any customer, we need to be patient and always exercise emotional intelligence.
Always exercise emotional intelligence. Mr. Addison, I know today I didn't allow you to talk, but what's the takeout from today's conversation?
Yes,
we're back again next week.
Yes,
anyway.
We should be prepared to invoke the right emotions in selling. But when we are not able to sell, we've done nothing. Now, people that couldn't reach us now could still contact me on 0268 330951.
Okay.
0268 330951.
Okay. I promise we're going to talk a bit about your show today. We ran out of time, but next week we're back on the radio, same time, and we'll spend a bit more time talking about what you do and how you can be helpful. Up next is the news at 2. My name is Yabana Fudu. Make a date with us, same time next week. Thank you for listening.